Man, listen, I don't blame Chad if he don't want to get married after this because Sherelle lost her top with this. So in this episode, they sat down with their attorneys to talk about their prenuptial agreement. And Sherelle, she want $3 million a year for him to pay in alimony.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Have you guys seen this video circulating? I'm noticing no one's really talking about this. You have Ocho and Sherelle, his current fiance. They're sitting around talking about their prenuptial agreement. She makes the most heinous requests with her attorney sitting next to her, straight-faced. And I think this is a great example of why you want to make sure that you hire, if you're going to, get married and you want to protect yourself legally, that you hire an expert attorney, because you see that play out. They give some offers and his attorney, Ocho's attorney, counters them. These are ridiculous clauses within the prenup, like $3 million a year. That's not even the worst of it. $3 million a year. And we're talking about that amount she once paid on their wedding anniversary. Imagine you divorce a chick, and because of your badly drafted prenuptial agreements, because you didn't go to fathershaverights.com, a website that I set up for men who value marriage, and get the #1 guide to drafting prenuptial agreement for free with offer code review, because you didn't do that. Every time she sits down and instead of looking back in bitterness at how, the marriage didn't work out, she sits there looking forward to the anniversary because she's thinking, man, what a great investment. What a great investment. I got him.
So then he countered for $15K a month.
And so obviously he said no to the $3 million a year, and he countered for $15K a month.
And the crazy thing is, at times, Sherelle makes more money than Chad, but Chad didn't go to the millions. He said he wanted $15K a month, which is like $180 a year. That's less than 6% of what she was asking for. But Chad said, you know what? We leave what we came here with. So the alimony was waived. And you would think the conversation would be over with, but nope. Sherelle says she wants 25% of his podcast with Shannon Sharp.
Could you imagine that? She now is demanding for 25% of his podcast revenue that he has. Of course, we're talking about the nightcap that he has with Shannon Sharp. Just plain insanity. Plain insanity. I mean, based on how this chick has been moving, we already know she's a cheater. But at this point, what other proof does someone like Ocho need? In the actual conversation, she argues that she's one of his business partners. And he's like, you're not even contractually signed on as a business partner, right? But in her head, because she gives advice or whatnot, she thinks she is, but on paper, she's not. This is why documents are very, very important.
Then Chad was like, okay, then I want 25% of your business.
And that's exactly what happened. She requested 25% of her business. And I think that was more done out of, being petty, like, oh, you want 25% of my business? How about I get 25% of your business? And they started going off, her and the lawyer. And it looks like their marriage will be pushed back because of that prenuptial conversation. And if you think that's the worst of it, she also proposes an infidelity clause. Yes, the woman who cheated on her ex-husband to be with the man who she's with now proposes an infidelity clause.
Your coffee just doesn't taste any good.
Your coffee just doesn't taste any good. In the #1 guide to drafting a solid and legally binding prenuptial agreement that you can get for free at fathershaverights.com, offer code review, we actually address this specific topic. There's legal information that discusses, should you include a cheating clause in your prenuptial agreement? Because a lot of chicks view prenuptial agreements as a way to legally get over on a man. And cheating clauses are a huge topic that a lot of people discuss. You can learn more about that in there.
Now we know the real reason why Chad ain't gonna agree to that, because he know he gonna slip up. But I do think it should go both ways. I do agree with that, but it should go both ways. But I want to hear from y'all. Who y'all think was wrong? Who's right? Do y'all think you should have a prenup for a marriage? What y'all think about it? For me, I think if you have money like they have, I think a prenup is necessary to protect your assets. But with this situation, I don't know. But hey, let's talk about it in the comments.
Listen, I have a more extreme take on that. I think if you own anything going into a marriage, then you should consider signing a prenuptial agreement. And I also take it a step further is I see benefit in people that don't own anything at all, because it puts the power in your hands to decide the boundaries and expectations within your marriage. Unless if you're telling me that, like, if you own a car, for example, if you go into that marriage with that person, do you owe them half of your car? Because that's what you're saying when you sign that prenuptial agreement. You're also saying, I own your debts, right? You're also taking responsibility of the negative and positive attributes that that person brings to the marriage. Does it matter to you as a man that a woman may be $500,000 in student debt? Oh, but she's educated. $500,000 in debt for student debt. And then it's your responsibility. You got to change the way you look at what that person owns and assets, because that goes into that bucket as well.
Corey Holcomb is proof that even a broke clock is right twice a day. Why did that lady Sherelle sit up there and tell Ochocinco that she wants a prenuptial agreement to where if they divorce, she gets a $3 million lump sum and $15,000 a week or a month afterwards in alimony?
She didn't want to give Corey Holcomb his props there for calling this. I actually haven't seen the video, but here she is. I actually haven't seen the video.
So then his lawyer brought up current income within their household, and she brings in more money currently. And regardless of what he got in the bank, she brings in more money currently. After they ask this, she then says, well, what about the podcast? Because I at least need to leave with a piece of the podcast. And they both trying to sit there and figure out, we both got money. So if something ever happened, we just both need to leave with what we came with. And she sells $1 million homes in Tampa. And word on the street is she's a good realtor. These women are trying to manipulate these men. This ain't about no money. This ain't about no masculinity. These women want to manipulate these men right about they shit. Because I don't give a damn what y'all say, and they learning it from their mamas. Because you can say what you want to. These women be single and bitter, not broke. They are trying to manipulate the trying to go after the money he had before he met you, and I ain't never seen the lady on the podcast. And I watched the podcast.
The thought that she somehow concluded that she should get 25% of something as lucrative, or that he's put as much work into, like their podcast. You got to ask yourself, like, who do you think you are? Like, why would a person think they deserve that? It's beyond me. Beyond me. Guys, I appreciate you, as always, for checking out yet another episode of The Coffee Pod. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.